everyone, and welcome to 19 O'Clock News, a Kodocha podcast featuring me, That Kodocha Girl, or Ari.
And me, Mahou Shoujo M, and slash or Daily Kodocha.
All right, so we are back on with another episode recap. We are recapping another filler episode. So this one actually had me cracking up today. I don't know why, it just really tickled me this time that I watched it. We've talked about it before, but this has never really been one of my favorite filler episodes.
Oh no, ma'am. Not just not your favorite, cited as one of your least favorite. You have called out this episode specifically as I don't like it, and we've come a full 180 on that, so.
Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking. I'd have to go back and listen to what I said because we people
I do, I
change.
remember what you said.
What did I say?
No, you just talked about how boring it was because nothing happens.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's a good world building episode, I
Yes,
think.
I would
But
agree.
yeah, I the only problem I have with it is there wasn't enough of Akito and Sana's classmates. I feel like that's why it's not really a particularly exciting episode for me.
That's
But
fair.
rewatching it for the intent of talking about it on the podcast, I don't know, it just really made me giggle a lot
Yeah,
rewatching it.
that's definitely fair. There's definitely some interesting moments. Should we tell everybody what episode it is?
It
I mean, they'll have
is.
read it in the on the title card probably, but like we haven't said it yet.
It is episode 29. Here she is, Mama's Mama.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, so today we get to meet Shizuka Kurata. I don't know how Shizuka spells her name in kanji, but it is funny because that Shizuka is also an adjective that means quiet. Um,
Which she definitely not is.
yes, I think I'm wondering if that was chosen for irony's sake. Maybe. I don't know.
What are your thoughts overall on the episode? Has your opinion changed on it like mine?
I kind of nothinged the episode before, and like while there are some moments that I enjoyed, I kind of felt like I was it is one of my notes was like, wow, I forgot everything about this episode because I forgot everything about this episode. And so I kept like waiting for something to happen. And then the credits rolled and I was like, oh, that was it. Okay. Okay. Which is like
I
fine. I just like was it didn't have that normal like, and here is the main point of the episode moment. Everything was kind of it was a little choppy, I think. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, I know exactly how you feel about it because it's like, yeah, it just kind of meanders and
Yeah.
just
It-
kind of it's one silly little moment after another.
yeah.
And I feel like we didn't really learn a whole lot about grandma other than she owns a hot springs inn and she wants to arrange a marriage to
I
get her
know.
her offspring to take over
Yeah.
the inn when she passes away.
Which
So
I also find really interesting that like this is a job that she feels you must be married to do. Partially you could argue that she was trying to get Misako also to come back to Kusatsu because of a man. But why does Sana also need to be engaged if she's gonna do this job? Like why is this a two-person role? I don't know.
I guess grandma is a very traditional
That
woman.
I did get that feeling. I did get that feeling. But also I'm like, but okay. You wear roller skates. Open your mind. Like
Right.
so I this episode does start off in a kind of a fun way with a sighting for poor Anda, Misako's editor, who's one of my favorite background characters, Justice for Anda, who is begging for a manuscript as usual, and she gives him she gives it to him when he asks, and he's so overjoyed. And in the background, they play the I can't remember the name of the song, but it's the like
Mama loves Sana.
yeah, the Mama Love song in the background, and I'm like, oh my God.
So dramatic.
I know, and he's like so weepy, and then he leaves, and even Ray is like, wow, I'm really touched. And Misako's like, oh yeah, no, I didn't. It's just the cover. The actual manuscript is something I wrote 3 years ago. Um,
Yeah, as an audience, we should know this by now, you
yeah,
know. And
there's
even
no,
on Onda, yeah, he should know this by now that, you know, you're never gonna get what you
no,
want from
no.
Misako. She works on her own terms.
That she do. Oh my gosh. Yeah, no, it really did tickle me. Yeah, I think what really got me was like Sana and Ray being like, wow, you're really growing. And she's like, I am not. That is not what is happening. That's so good. And then, funnily enough, I noticed I didn't really clock it in the English version because I just didn't have the context of the episode yet. This time I watched the English version first, just to really shake things up a bit.
That's funny
Um,
because I always watch the English
I
version.
know I normally watch the Japanese first. We've talked about this, but this time I watched the English first, and Misako goes off to, in Japanese version, she says, like going to an onsen, but it's really just her bathtub, and says that she's going to use like bath salts and stuff. And then she like sings a little song about kusatsu, which is a little interesting foreshadowing.
Yeah, I picked that up the second time I watched it in the
Yeah.
Japanese dub.
I'm like, I didn't notice it when I watched it in the English version. I don't really remember what she says there.
I don't think she references it,
Okay.
actually. I'd have to
Mm,
check again, but
so
I don't,
funny.
because I feel like I would have picked up on that the first time I
Yeah.
watched it.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I kind of want to like play that scene through again just to like see, but yeah, and so then we meet Shizuka Kurata, Misako's mother.
So I actually have I went on a slight little research deep dive with her
Hmm.
voice actress in the English dub. I thought it was I was very frustrated because this whole time I was taking notes and I was like 99, actually no, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I was 100% sure that Linda Young was the voice actress for Grandma Karada. I was mistaken.
Who is it?
It is Julie Erikson.
Oh, Juli Erikson.
I
That
don't,
name sounds so familiar, but what are her other
I didn't really
works?
look into that because
I'm pulling up IMDb. I gotta know.
I was so I hate that I wrote down notes of like notable Linda Young roles on my notes for this
Aw.
episode, and then I looked that up and I was like, oh, well, scratch that out.
So it looks like she's had an interesting career of kind of a mix of voice acting and in-person shorts and stuff. She's Recovery Girl from My Hero Academia. That's helpful. I know what that is. People will know that.
Recovery girl. I feel like that's a
Yeah.
side character.
She is. I actually like just started that series like a week or two ago with my husband. I think she appears in the pilot, or maybe like this, no, not the pilot, in the episode where Deku is doing like his entrance exam thing and he like breaks all the bones in his body. And she comes and heals him.
Okay.
So that's Julie Erickson, Oba and Fairy Tale, Granny and Yona of the Dawn, because I think she's probably got a few roles called Granny.
She does a good grandma voice.
She does.
It's crazy to me that my mind is still kind of blown that it's not Linda Young.
Some background characters probably. Looks like she did a lot of background work. Oh, 9 episodes of Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood as Pinako Rockbell as the grandma next door.
I still need to watch that show. That's
Oh,
been on my list
have
for
you? I was
years.
gonna say, I'm like, have you never watched like any Full Metal?
I remember catching some of the OG series on Adult Swim back in the day, so
Wow.
like I'm vaguely aware of the
Yeah.
characters and the plot, but
Oh
I've
man.
never actually like sat and watched any of the series all the way through.
Yeah, no, Full Metal is just so good. Yeah, just excellent character development, really interesting plot, really interesting twists, really well done. And Brotherhood is, I think, a really good adaptation. I haven't read all the manga, but from what I've read so far, feels pretty accurate, more so than the original series, which I think had a bit more filler. Which ain't that just the
Yeah,
way?
honestly, the way that you're praising it makes me just want to watch it more.
It's real good.
Because yeah, anything that you like, I usually really like
That's
also.
fair.
So
I
I don't think there's been anything that you've recommended to me that I've been like, it's not for me. I know there's things we've talked about that
I think
like
it's just
deserve to
Cardcaptor
be.
Sakura. I think that's the only thing I love that you're like, eh.
Yeah, yeah,
I think it's just that.
and that's the thing too is I really want to actually like get back to that because I've talked to a few of my friends who really like Cardcaptor as well, and they're all like,
Hmm.
well, it starts out kind of slow. It gets a lot better as you go on with it. And I'm
Yeah.
thinking, okay, maybe I'll get more into it if I just kind of let myself watch it and get into it.
Uh,
Um,
she is a slow burn, and it's definitely a story that you kind of have to you take as a whole, I guess, because like once you kind of you see what they've been setting up from like the very beginning, it's really interesting. And especially once you get into clear card and stuff, the character development as the characters age is very natural. They start the series at 10. Like, I mean, this is the series. I have one tattoo, and it's a Cardcaptor Sakura tattoo. Okay, like I love this series.
then I really need to try it again. I think it was also because I started reading the manga too, and I
Not
was
vibing
not
it.
feeling it.
The anime is really cute. The anime
And
is kind of
that's
fun too because, well, one Clamp actually was really heavily involved with the. They are heavily involved with the making of the animes of their series, which is nice. So you don't get a lot of that like that came out of left field stuff. Like Okawa writes all of the scripts and screenplays for their stuff, so it's always very true to the work. And even if they do deviate, it's always in a way that like makes sense or that feels like it belongs with the rest of the series.
oh, okay.
Um, and it's also another done by Madhouse, who's my probably favorite animation studio. It's fun though because they obviously like it was a serial for kids. Like they wanted to have a lot of weekly content. I think in the original series, there's only something like uh, 20 cards or something like that, and they like double it in the anime. So there's a lot of like anime only like cards that she captures and stuff so that they can have more hijinks and shenanigans for her to capture them. Um,
Okay.
so
Okay.
yeah, they definitely yeah, if you do end up watching it, there are like some episodes that I'm like, ooh, I can't wait till you get to this one.
Yeah, they're my friends too that really are into that show also are like, yeah, that's one of those rare cases where the anime is actually better than the manga.
Uh, I wouldn't go that far.
Okay.
No, no, I wouldn't go that far. I would say that the anime is a more truthful adaptation, and I would say because normally, like when the manga is better than the anime, it's by like a landslide, right? Like that's not even a competition. Like, what are you talking about? I'd say with Cardcaptor Sakura, it's more of a competition. Like it actually could be a competition. I wouldn't put one
Okay.
over the other, really. They're both so good and just in different ways.
Yeah, I'm actually a little over halfway done with this other magical girl series um called Nurse Angel Ririka, which is
Yeah.
actually animated by the same studio that did Kodocha.
Oh yes,
Um,
Studio Gallop.
mhm.
Nice.
And it's have you seen it?
No, I'm not really familiar with it.
It's really good. It's a lot of people who recommended it to me were like, it gets really dark, and I'm like, okay. And I started watching it, and I was like, I think I was like to episode like 9 or 10, and I was like, where's the darkness? And
Yeah,
then something happens, in like I think it's like episode 15, and I was like,
there it
oh,
is. You
okay.
found it.
Yeah. But
Uh-oh.
yeah, good series. I can't wait to see how it ends.
Yeah, I'm really curious. Let me know what you think when you get all the way through. I just looked up so I was like, I know I've seen things about this show, but I just couldn't like call it to memory, and so I just pulled it up and
It's another Reborn series too.
yeah, it looks like it's so funny. It looks kind of like a Studio Gallop series. Some of these character designs, I'm like, oh, there's Akito's hair. Um,
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah, I sit there when I watch Nurse Angel and I'm kind of looking at the backgrounds. It's like they remind me so much of the backgrounds they do in Kodocha.
Oh yeah, I'm so sure. That's
Like
so funny.
it's funny because it actually reminds me a lot of some of the backgrounds I see mainly in season two, like when
Hmm.
they go to New York and everything, which is kind of funny.
Ah, that's so
Like
funny.
there's a couple scenes in Nurse Angel that I feel like kind of they borrow things, or I guess I shouldn't say borrow because I think Nurse Angel came out first, but I think there's definitely some
Concurrently, it
things
looks
they
like.
used from that. I feel like they
Uh,
used like in the park scenes in the New York arc and Kodocha. Like they just look very similar to me.
I wouldn't be surprised if they did that. I really wouldn't. So much of the New York arc is like borrowed animation from previous episodes and stuff. So if they were using backgrounds from another series, it just tracks. They were
Yeah,
treading water, just trying to get by.
pretty much. But I actually wanted to bring up something I found back to the whole conversation about Grandma Carada's voice actress.
Oh
Um,
yeah. That's how we got
so
here.
yeah, so
Sorry.
I don't know, maybe you knew this, maybe our listeners knew this, but I didn't know this, and I was kind of shocked when I found this out. But so apparently, do you know who Linda Young's son is?
No.
John Burgmeier.
What?
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it?
Oh my gosh. Who started working for like who got who into like
I
doing voice acting? That's what I want to know.
I don't know. I was like looking through their Wikipedia pages, and the only thing I found in reference to them in regards to working together was like literally on Linda Young's page. It's just a sentence that says Linda Young and her son John Burgmeier work together. Like that's literally all it says.
Okay.
But yeah, I was researching to try and see, you know, does Linda Young do the voice of the character? And then it listed children, John Burgmeier. It's like, wait, what? And then I clicked on it and it's like, oh my gosh, okay, so it's the same guy. It's Ray. Pretty cool.
Wow. I'm so shook by that. That is
I
not
am too.
well, also just because like I guess I'm sort of realizing that I don't really understand how old John Burgmeier is, if he's just been working since he was an infant, or how old is everybody? Hold on.
See,
Like,
I also had that thought, but then I got distracted by something. And
okay.
I think John Burgmeier is in his 50s now.
Yeah, he's
So that
born
would
in
make her,
74 and Linda Young was like looks like she was like 19, 20 when she had him.
yeah, she
So
would
she's
have
pretty
had to
young.
been young.
So she's
Yeah.
I guess in her I guess that would put her in her 70s. Wow, wow,
Yep.
wow.
Frieza's
What?
Frieza's son is Ray from Kodocha.
I'm yeah, I'm like I'm so shook. Wow. That was now, of course, I'm on their IMDb's because I want to scroll and see who has their first credit first. So it looks like John Dragon Ball Z uh in 1990. Let's see, Linda. Also 1990 Dragon Ball Z.
So I guess they
What?
started on that show together.
They must have done. And then of course Yu Yu Hakusho. Um,
Oh yeah,
because she's
yeah.
Genkai and he's Kurama.
Hmm. That's so cool.
That's fun that they got to work together on like a show like Yu Yu Hakusho.
Hmm.
I'm so okay, sorry. I'm like, what?
It was for me too. I was so excited to share it.
Yeah, I'm so glad that you did. It looks like they're from the Midwest too. She's from Milwaukee and he was born in Chicago, so
All right.
there you are.
It's my neck of the woods, kind
Your
of.
representation. Yeah, I'm really stuck on this. Okay, we got to
All
move on,
right,
otherwise I'm
moving
gonna fall into an
on.
IMDb hole.
So, one of the best parts of this episode for me that had me cracking up was when they start the matchmaking process for
Oh my gosh.
Misako.
Yes.
And like everyone is like, "Hi, I'm from Kusatsu." And then
Yep.
it's like the most like normal average looking guy you've ever seen and it's like, yeah.
Yeah.
Misako would totally go for a guy like this, not.
I know it was so funny too because she's like, why are all of these men so, I think she says like what, wiggly in Japanese or just like weak in
Yeah,
English, and she's like, I thought that was the sort of man that you liked. And like the deadpan of that was so good. Like
right.
I thought that was what? Like it really got me. I had forgotten about the suitors entirely. So those buses rolling up, I was like, "Oh my God, here we go." I had forgotten all about that. Um,
I loved the ending of that sequence too, where Sana's like, all my possible new dads are going
yes,
away.
I also wrote that down. Aw. I
And then
also love the
In Japanese, she called them phantom fathers. I thought that was an interesting difference.
oh, man, I must have blinked over that subtitle. I don't remember that at all. And listeners, I was watching this episode an hour ago. Pray for M's head. Uh,
We will.
thank you. Yeah, I also just got a real kick out of like, are we done with the arranged marriage stuff for now? Like,
That
Misako's
was
like,
good.
girl. I also, I think it was interesting that I guess that they know like that Shizuka's never come around before, like that she's been absent for 4 years, which would be about the time that Ray came to live with the Karatas, which would explain why he's never met her. But also part of me is like, how has he never met this lady? But I guess they just like really don't talk.
Yeah, I wish they would have like delved into more of the conflict between her and her mother.
Yeah.
But I get I get that this episode was meant to be more silly, so that's probably why they didn't do that. And also, I feel like overall the writing team for the Kodocha anime, I feel like, and I've mentioned this on our show before, but I feel like sometimes they try to replicate Obana's writing
Hmm.
and they always end up just coming back with something that feels similar but is a lot more shallow.
Yeah, because if you give it like actual thought, like don't get me wrong, I think Shizuka Kurata is a really fun character. I think this is a really fun episode, but it doesn't really make sense when you think about like who Misako's mother must have been, because Misako ended up being the kind of weirdo that she is because she was breaking free of like family and societal expectations. So for her mom to also be kind of a wackadoodle doesn't really make sense. Because what then is Misako breaking free from?
Yeah,
Um,
I think if they would have stuck with just like her being kind of like this traditionalist woman
yeah,
and not have like the whole roller skates and everything,
yeah,
like
and the
then it
exploding
maybe would have
cane.
worked.
Yeah, I think it could have if they had gone that direction. Because also, like, I don't know about you, but I find that not always, of course, but like when you've got like a couple of crazy adults, their child does not often end up also being crazy. Like my my high school best friend who was visiting me like last weekend. And I love her family. Her family is my family. Her parents are like two of the strangest people in all the world. And I adore them, but they're so strange. And so my best friend and her sister are like so laid back and so normal because they have been putting up with my, adoptee parents' nonsense for their whole lives. An example, a story, a time. I was driving over there once in high school, get out of the car, go knock on the door. And, her dad opens the door and he's like, "Oh, good morning, Em. Would you like a strudel?" And I was like, "Absolutely, I would." And so he has them on a plate. And so I take one. And then he just closes the door in my face, locks the door, and goes away. Yeah. And then my best friend like opens the door like 5 minutes later, like, "I thought I heard your voice." It's like your dad left me with breakfast, which was nice, but also standing on the front porch.
Huh.
So there be that. Um, so I don't know. That's just my personal experience, but
That's very interesting.
yeah.
I don't know. I feel like I need more information to psychoanalyze that properly, but
Oh, I'm
it's
like,
very
I could go on, but I also don't want to give too much identifying information about myself for people that I know.
yeah. It's
But
funny because this kind of goes into like the whole there's a scene in the episode where Ray's trying to show the grandma and the butler child's toy, and she's just sitting there
Yes.
and like not laughing. And it
Mhm.
reminded me of this time with my family members when now me and my mom, we have very similar sense of humor. So if I find something funny, she usually finds it funny too, and vice versa. So, and this is kind of silly, but do you remember that viral video from like early YouTube days, Charlie the Unicorn?
Oh yeah. Get your mountain, Charlie.
So, my
Yeah, I
mom,
could
she
probably
was
still repeat most of that if I tried.
same, and I haven't seen it in years, but
Same.
like, so my mom, she liked to, if there was like a funny video on YouTube, she liked to download it and like burn them all in a DVD for me, and we'd watch them.
Oh,
It's
that's
just what we
funny.
did. So we took them over to my grandma's house,
Oh,
and
uh-huh.
we were gonna show her Charlie the Unicorn, and it was that exact thing from this episode. She just
Oh
sat there and
no.
just like blank expression, like she just did not
She
get it.
it didn't resonate. Yeah, it is. I mean, that's the thing. Like, what a moment in time that I do feel in some ways you had to be there for. Like I'm still laughing at it, but I do think like people who kind of missed it, either because they didn't get it the first time or they weren't born yet, I do think it just goes over their heads a bit.
Yeah,
Like,
for
I don't
sure.
know, that kind of like that random humor, which I know
Yeah,
gets kind of mocked now, but like that really was like peak comedy at the time. We loved random.
it's definitely our generation's brand of humor.
Yeah.
And it's interesting when you think about it, because I was actually thinking about this earlier today, oddly enough. And I was thinking, it's funny how a lot of people in my generation, we all have that kind of random sense of humor. At least we have an appreciation for it. And
Hmm.
some of the older generations don't really get it.
Hmm.
Um, and I was thinking about a lot of the TV shows that we grew up with. We grew up with a lot of random humor, live action comedy. Like think about like the old Nickelodeon live action shows.
Hmm.
Um, and
The concept of getting slimed
exactly.
is so millennial. Like,
And it's like you think about it. It's kind of like a chicken and the egg thing. It's like did the comedy that the corporations were making, is that why we like the humor, or is it just something that our generation just ended up liking and then you know what I mean?
yeah, I'm like, did they do like a ton of market research and be like, this is what makes the kids laugh? Or did they just make it and this ended up being what made the kids laugh?
Exactly.
Um, yeah, no, that's definitely true. I mean, yeah, you think like old Cartoon Network, there's certainly an element of like randomness to it. Yeah. No, it's a good point. 'Cause I just think about things like, I mean, this is another deep cut. You could probably still find them on YouTube. But they are these flash videos, flash animations, about Cactar and Tonberry from Final Fantasy.
Oh, I love the old Flash animations. I haven't seen those, but I
Oh, I
used to
gotta see if I
watch
can find
the
one. They are, I think you'd love them. If you love Charlie the Unicorn, you'll love these. I gotta see if I can find them.
I used to love particularly the Naruto and Kingdom Hearts
Oh
Flash
my
animations
God,
from back then.
yes, the Kingdom Hearts ones. That just
This the Sora
awoke.
song. I am
Yes.
Sora. Here's my Keyblade.
Oh my God. I just forgotten about that one. Gosh, no, the Cactar and Tonberry ones were like crazy. Cactar like talks like Stitch, from Lilo and Stitch and has it out for the Olsen twins, who
Wow,
like I
okay.
know it's like so of its time. Like Olsen twins, cool. Like
That's amazing, and you
abs
did
in
a great impression.
Thank you. Stitch is one of the voices I can do. Oh,
So good. Oh my God.
Ohana means family. Family means nobody gets left behind
You
or
can do
forgotten.
Gollum too with that one.
I probably could. It's got a little bit more rumble on it. I've tried before because my husband's a huge Lord of the Rings fan. In any case, yeah, no, that's my that kind of I don't know. It's I know. It's in the
Is that
back
a
of the throat. I don't
character?
know how to explain how you do it. It was funny when we were in Japan last year, we went to Tokyo Disney and Stitch is on one of the older rides. He makes an appearance in the Enchanted Tiki Room. Um and it is just really funny to hear Stitch speak Japanese. Um it's like the
I'm
whole
gonna have to
time.
look this up.
Oh my gosh. I think I've got some video. I'll send it to you. But like the whole time, like the tiki room is like these animatronic birds set to some music and they all kind of come down and around. But in Japan, the storyline is very much like, we got to be careful because, the big kahuna, is going to show up any minute. That's what I was getting from it. I mean, my Japanese wasn't amazing then. It's not
Mhm.
amazing now, but it's better. So I was like kind of getting bits and pieces, but then like Stitch comes up like out of a volcano. And it was like, Watashi wa big kahuna. And it was just,
Oh, that's
like,
amazing.
it was so much. Oh my God. Yeah, no, it really got me.
That's awesome.
Yeah, thank you. How did we get there? Um,
Woo!
oh,
All
humor.
right.
The video. Oh, yes,
Yes.
yes, yes. It actually,
Grandma watching
yes,
Child's
yes.
Toy, which
Because my
Child's
my
Toy is a lot of random humor, actually.
that's true. Actually, my note for that scene was I am grandmama when it comes to the child's toy gags. Like, I just
Oh
didn't
my
quite like
gosh.
they're funny, but I'm like, I don't know. And I think it's also one of those things where it's like because the show is so funny on its own, and it feels like Child's Toy is like an even more absurd, like even like bigger version of like Kodocha, the story, the plot, the anime.
Hmm.
It almost feels like they're trying to like outdo themselves and it veers into absurdist territory like very quickly.
Yeah, sometimes the Child's Toy comedy is hilarious, but then other times I do feel like Grandma Mom just kind of sitting there and I'm like,
Yeah.
what are they trying to say here?
Yep. I'm like, and there are some really great Child's Toy sketches, but like those couple, I was like, okay.
I did enjoy the last one when she turns into a chef. That one made me
Yes, that was also good when they're like, "Come on, nurse, you gotta help us." She's like, "I'm not the nurse." So good. Um, and I think both voice actresses did a really funny job with that scene also. Like the reads
laugh.
were exactly perfect. But yeah, Ray being such a so protective over Sana in this episode, like uh, protective of Sana being Misako's daughter and like just like you should see what she can do. We're gonna make you laugh. Damn it. Whatever Sana does, like I'll be there. Whatever she decides to do. I don't know. It was a good Ray episode.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the Ray segments in this episode too.
Yeah.
I
It was
actually
like
really liked the part when they decided to, all right, well, we can't get Misako to get the in. We're gonna leave it to Sana now, and they start the whole process of trying to arrange her marriage.
mhm.
And I love the segment where it's like showing Sana as the innkeeper, and she just looks so
Yes,
badass. And I love Ray's part in that segment too. It's
I
great.
know. I yeah, I also wrote that down. Like his little daydream was like extremely funny, and then he was just like, okay, that would work. I can do this. And his little book that he's holds, I couldn't read all of it because like the scene moved really quickly, but what I could read was "sutekina," which basically means comfortably. So I'm like, you go, Ray. Read a book on the concept of being comfortable. It'll be great in your next job. Um, it's so good. Um, yeah, is I guess is the next segment of the episode to talk about the bit about Toriyama.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
Oh my
actually really.
gosh.
His name is Toriyama, right? I didn't make that up.
Yeah, Toriyama Noboru or
Oh my
Noboro.
gosh, it's so funny because that would mean that both him and Akito have the same kanji in their last name, probably
Hmm.
for mountain, which means the Yama. Huh. Anyway, remember when I told you before we got on that I didn't have any translation fixations this week? Um,
You do now, do
I'm
you?
a liar. Um, yeah, oh my gosh, Toriyama, what a character. I hate this guy. Oh my
I
God.
hate him too. He's like,
So annoying.
he kind of reminds me of Ishida a bit, but like a lot
Yes,
worse.
but worse. But they like Ishida
Yes.
with what's the glasses guy from Sailor Moon? Um,
I can't remember his
the
name.
glasses guy from Sailor Moon. Everybody will know who we're talking about because he was kind of maybe not the first, but definitely one of the most popular uh like versions of like glasses character with spirally lenses.
Yep.
Oh my gosh, yes. And God bless the poor. I don't know who voices him in the English version, but they really were trying their best. But some of that yelling was straight up giving like ghost stories, like that giggity 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 giggity
Giggity giggity.
giggity giggity giggity. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, no, it
Yeah.
was yeah, it was
Some of that
very
was like,
unhinged.
you tried. Too many words, too many syllables. I get it. And yeah, I was so happy when Akito arrived.
I know that part is so funny, and
Balm for my soul.
it's like all of a sudden like there's this whole like thing like I'm Sana's fiance, and then it's on like Donkey Kong,
Yeah.
and I love that part because Keto would have kicked his ass,
Oh, for
and then
sure. But he's
I
already been
love
trying to make such a good impression on grandma by using like manners and actually bowing. Like, who are you?
right. And then I love the part where it's like they're having their little stare down and then it's
Oh my gosh,
over
right.
and
They just like,
Tori's like, I looked in his eyes and saw death.
yeah, in Japanese, those eyes aren't human. It's like, it's so funny. Yeah. And then, of course, like the exit with his little whistling theme and the cheetah tail and ears going was just, yeah, I giggled so much. I was like, come back.
Yeah, this episode
Don't
gave us
leave.
crumbs for real.
Oh, man. I know. Because this is a weird analogy. Did you have to read Huck Finn in school?
Yes.
Okay. So, like, as a junior high student, reader of classic novels, I still do. And I love The Adventures of Tom Sawyer. I always did. And Huck Finn, I found kindly to our dear Mark Twain. So, so boring. Oh my God.
It was.
So
Yeah.
dull. The Mississippi River is deep and wide, and that was my main takeaway. And the best part of that book is the like half a chapter that Tom Sawyer, the character, is in. And that's kind of how I felt about this episode.
And that's like, if I recall, wasn't that like the one of the first few chapters of Huck Finn?
Gosh, I don't remember. It's been so long since I've read it. Huck and Jim are just those are supporting characters, and they were not meant to lead their own book. And that's okay.
Gosh,
Anyway,
you
that's,
just gave me a traumatic flashback
I'm
to
so sorry.
high
This is
school.
good.
It's okay.
I'm like
It's okay.
everybody, yeah, this might be our first classic novels reference on 19 o'clock news, a Kodocha podcast.
Yeah, I think so.
Maybe
I
we
mean,
we do read other books, everybody.
I as much as I didn't like that one, there were other ones in high school I really enjoyed. So I don't want to make it seem like I didn't like it, but
No,
just
it's
happened to mention like one of
the
the worst
one.
ones.
I'm with you. I'm like I loved. I mean, people would be like, "Ah, I didn't do the reading," and I'm like, "You what? Why not?" I always did the reading. I loved the reading. That was the best part of English class for me. So I'm like, I'm all over that. But Huck Finn, like, if I had to rank like least favorite reads, it might be a list of one, and it would be that one. Tale of Two Cities was kind of dry too, but I can do Dickens before Huck Finn.
Yeah, we had to read Great Expectations. I think that's
Ooh,
Dickens.
yeah,
And I
it
had
is.
mixed feelings about that one because
Mhm.
overall I thought it was interesting, but I felt like it dragged a bit.
Yeah, kind of with you. It's so funny too because like Dickens's shorter works, like either like Oliver Twist or even like A Christmas Carol, I think are like so strong. But like if he doesn't have like any kind of page limit, I do think that he tends to ramble. Um,
Yeah, that's kind of
just a
how it felt.
smidge. Yeah, and there's always kind of like a moral undertone to a lot of his work too that like can get a little bit. Like, okay, we get it. Like,
Preachy.
care about your fellow man.
Good times. Good
Good times. Anyway,
times.
uh,
So yeah, I think that pretty much this wraps up the episode because that was really the only other thing that I really thought was funny was the reference to the molding the getting a man, capturing
yes,
him and molding him. I loved that reference.
yes, I did think that was funny. I had wondered, like, I'm like staring at it, trying to figure out if like they reused any of the animation from when Misako made that comment. But I couldn't really tell. Um, yeah, I only had one other thing to talk about this episode that we haven't touched on at all, which is Sanzo. Uh,
Sanzo. I like Sanzo and his
do
voice sounded
too.
very familiar to me. And I
Same.
went through his IMDb, but I didn't there was not really a character that really stood out to me that I was
Hmm.
remembering. I feel like I'd have to really go through it because his work is very prolific. He had a lot of roles that he did.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, I thought he was a good addition to the cast.
Yeah, I liked him a lot. I did also like he speaks with such authority too that I do love that Ray pretty much like, completely like would say something, Sanso would disagree, and then Ray would like immediately bend, like every single time.
Yeah.
So Ray's just like, you know what, you're right, like, which really kind of tickled me. But I did think he was a fun character, although like ageless in a way that it seemed like he was older than Misako, but I couldn't really tell. Like
Yeah. Like he's somewhere in between her and her mother.
somewhere it must have been because he like talks about like Misako growing up and going to college and meeting Ryosuke, as if he was there. I
Yeah. You
guess.
know, there was something that kind of bothered me, and I feel like this is kind of nitpicky. But when he's telling the story about that in the Japanese dub, he just kind of tells the story and he tells it in a way of like, I think he says something along the lines of, "Oh, this beast caught her," or something like that.
Yeah.
Um, but there was something in the way in the English version, the way they phrased it, that kind of irked me a little bit.
Yeah. Do you remember how they phrased it?
Yeah, he said something like she was snatched away by a man, and to me that made it feel like
Hmm.
I don't know, it almost gave it this feeling like she's a possession, and I
Yeah.
didn't like that phrasing because of that.
No, that's fair. It's definitely fair. That's also like one of the things that I think led Misako to eventually divorce and live life on her own terms. It's because she is not a possession.
Mhm.
And I did think that was kind of interesting too, because like, and it almost feels like grandma, married a man who is perceived to be weaker. Almost, I wonder if that was like even her own way of kind of pushing back on that notion of ownership.
Yeah, just something I found
Yeah.
interesting that I never really picked up on before, but it just yeah, it kind of gave me an icky feeling, and I
Yep.
was trying to figure out why, why is this making me feel kind of weird? And then I watched the
Yeah.
Japanese version after, and it didn't make me feel that same way. So it kind of
Mm,
made it stood out to me even more. So I was
yeah.
like, okay, what about that wording makes it icky? And it's like, well, it like comes across as, yeah, like she's an object. So yeah, it's just kind of a weird way to phrase it.
Yeah. No, that's definitely fair. I'm, yeah, nope. Well put. Well said. Fun episode.
Yeah, this episode is good. I feel like if you're in a bad mood and you need something to laugh about, turn this episode on.
Yeah.
It's not the most exciting or engaging episode of Kodocha, and I feel like it lacks a lot of that San and
It's,
Akito back and forth shenanigans that we love, but
mhm.
it's entertaining.
Yeah, I'd say there's something kind of like cozy and slice of life-y about it in so much as Kadocha can be cozy. If that makes
Yeah.
sense. There are so few episodes where things are paced in a way that it could feel anything but frantic. So Definitely worth a watch. It's a fun episode.
Definitely. Well, did you have anything else to add?
I don't think so. No, I'm like, I don't think we have any announcements or anything right now, right?
No, just
Yeah,
stay tuned till the next episode, which we
yeah.
should hopefully have coming out in May. If not, we might have to delay to June, but
Okay.
it'll be coming out soon.
It will be coming out. Um,
And we will most likely have another guest on for that episode.
yeah.
Most
There's
likely.
there's some stuff in the works. Stay tuned. And of course, if
Have
you
you?
are interested in joining us on 19 O'Clock News, a Kodocha podcast, our survey for guests is open. So feel free to throw in a note. Throw your hat in the ring.
Please do. I love talking about Kodocha with um, everyone in the fandom and other creators. It's awesome. And yeah,
Same.
I'm excited about our possible upcoming guests because they're a good friend of mine. So,
It'll be fun. Can't
yeah.
wait. Okay. Well, I guess if that's everything.
Yeah, that's it.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to 19 O'Clock News, a Kodocha podcast.
19 O'Clock News is hosted by That Kodocha Girl and Mahou Shoujo M.
We love making new friends. Feel free to join us in the Kodocha Discord under Kodocha_media.
19 O'Clock News is not affiliated with any current or previous rights holders to Kodomo no Omocha by Miho Obana.